Okay, for today's vocabulary, today we are talking about how to detox from your smartphone. So the terms are related to some smartphone terms, right? Number one, tethering, or tether to, sorry, not tethering, tether to. So a tether, I don't know if you know this, but a tether is like something that ties one thing to another, right? So if you're talking about like a dog leash, if you tie a dog, from his collar to like a tree or something, you have to go inside the store. Your dog is tethered to the tree. Sometimes we joke that, married men or fathers are tethered to their family or their wife and kids. So you can tether something by tying it together, or you can talk about being tethered by metaphor. Number two, sneak a glance. Sneak a glance is to just kind of look very like you're just trying to hide that you're looking, kind of sneaky, right? When you sneak a glance, it's like if your friend says, "Hey, don't look right now, but that person behind you is extremely weird." And then, so you try to do this thing to where you pretend that you're stretching. Oh, wow. That is sneaking a glance. How many times have you done that? Number three, forfeit. When you forfeit, actually, forfeit, I think that the definition here is a little bit imperfect. So when you forfeit, that's basically when you kind of give up. It says a fine or a penalty for doing wrongdoing or for a breach of the rules in a club or a game. You can forfeit a fine or penalty. So if you forfeit, you can also take the consequences. If you are playing like a game, a soccer match or something, and your team gives up, you forfeit. However, if your little brother or little sister says, "I need $50 for this weekend," you can forfeit $50 to your little brother or little sister. You're giving it up to them. You're kind of giving in. Number four, emit. To anything that kind of radiates some kind of light or discharge or any kind of like chemical or puts out any kind of like something in the air. For example, there was some research that smartphones can actually emit a tiny amount of radiation. Everything does, actually, like all electronics do. So that can emit radiation. Your car emits carbon dioxide. Is it carbon dioxide? Right? I think so. I hope I'm right. This is on YouTube. So carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide. Anyways, cars emit pollution. Any kind of production emits some kind of pollution, really, meaning it kind of gives out something. In some ways, you can use the word emit metaphorically when you're talking about, like, if someone is very excited, then they kind of emit some excitement. Number five, to be hooked on something. When you're addicted to something. And number six, a dumb phone, which is basically the opposite of a smartphone. It's basically the cell phone that you had 10 years ago. Very basic operation. You dialed some numbers, and that's it. Just has basic functionality. And that is our vocabulary.